One split-second decision in the pit lane can destroy a championship or create a legend. While drivers are racing wheel-to-wheel at 200 miles per hour, teams are making crucial strategy decisions that most fans never notice. These are the strategies that decide who wins races and who goes home with nothing. First off, you need to know what pitting is, and it's pretty straightforward. It's when drivers leave the track to change tyres, and it's the key strategy in Formula 1. Back in the day, teams also refueled during these stops, but those days are over. Now it's all about getting fresh rubber that grips the track way better than worn tyres that have been sliding around for 20 to 30 laps. Undercut. The undercut is when you pit earlier than the car ahead to gain position, and it's one of the smartest strategies in Formula 1. Let me explain. Car A pits on lap 20, while Car B waits until lap 25. When Car A gets those fresh tyres, they're suddenly running 1 to 2 seconds per lap, faster than Car B on old rubber that's lost most of its grip. Over those 5 laps, Car A gains 5 to 10 seconds, depending on the track. Meanwhile, Car B loses speed on worn tyres that can barely hold the racing line. By the time Car B finally pits on lap 25, Car A has built enough of a gap to stay ahead after both cars complete their stops. It's basically strategic passing without actually overtaking on track. The undercut works best at tracks like Spain or Hungary, where tyre degradation is high and creates major speed differences. Teams also use it when they're stuck behind a slower car that's defending hard. At Monaco, tyre degradation is low because of the smooth street circuit, so the undercut still works but becomes way less effective. It relies on avoiding traffic and getting the timing exactly right. But it's not guaranteed every time. If you pit early and get stuck behind slower traffic, you lose the speed advantage completely. Safety cars can also ruin the timing by bunching up the field, and slow pit stops that take more than 3 to 4 seconds kill the whole strategy. The undercut is a powerful move when executed with precision. It can flip races around. Overcut. The overcut is when you stay out longer while your competitor pits early, and it's one of the best counter strategies in F1. Instead of following them into the pits, you keep racing and use those extra laps to build up time that puts you ahead when you finally stop. Car A pits on lap 20 for fresh tyres and spends 20 to 25 seconds in the pit lane. Meanwhile, you stay out in Car B until lap 25 or even lap 30, still racing on older tyres. During those extra laps, you're gaining significant time because you're still moving while Car A is pitting. Your car gets lighter as it burns fuel, which makes you faster lap after lap. Plus, if Car A comes out behind slower traffic, they lose even more time while you're flying around in clean air. When you finally pit on lap 25, you've built up enough of a gap to come out ahead. The overcut works best at tracks like Monaco, where tyre degradation is minimal. You can stay out 10 to 15 laps longer without losing much pace. You need those older tyres to hold up, and clean air is absolutely crucial. But nothing's guaranteed. If your tyres fall off too quickly, you lose more time per lap than you gain by staying out. Safety cars can kill the strategy by bunching up the field and erasing any advantage you've built. The overcut is harder to execute than the undercut, but it's incredibly effective when teams get the timing right. One-stop strategy. The one-stop strategy is exactly what it sounds like. You make one pit stop during the entire race instead of 2 or 3 like everyone else. Start on one set of tyres, pit once to switch compounds, and finish the race on those tyres. This strategy works best on tracks with low tyre degradation, when teams expect a stable race with no crashes or safety cars. One-stops are less common because they rely on tyres lasting a long time. If they hold up, you gain 20 to 25 seconds every time someone else pits. If they don't, you're crawling around getting passed by everyone. Mid-grid drivers often use this to save time and climb the order, especially if they're not fighting for wins. The tyre choice is crucial too. Teams typically start on medium tyres for a balance of speed and durability, then switch to hard tyres for the longer final stint. For example, in the 2022 Canadian Grand Prix, Pirelli noted that a one-stop could involve starting on mediums for 22 to 28 laps, then switching to hards to finish. The hard compound is durable and consistent, making it ideal for long stints. But it wasn't the most common choice during the race. At Miami in 2022, George Russell executed this perfectly. He started 12th, made his one stop during a safety car which saved even more time, then managed those tyres for over 30 laps. He finished 5th. That's a 7-position jump just from strategy. Two-stop strategy. The two-stop strategy is when drivers pit twice during the race, and it's the most common approach teams use. You get 3 separate stints with fresher rubber, which means faster lap times, but you spend more time in the pits. Each stop costs 20 to 25 seconds, so that's 40 to 50 seconds total. It's the perfect balance between speed and flexibility. Fresh tyres every 20 to 25 laps means you can push harder and maintain competitive pace throughout. Plus, teams can adjust strategy if conditions change or safety cars come out. This strategy works best at tracks that are tough on tyres, like Bahrain, where the abrasive surface and heavy braking destroy rubber quickly. Teams also use this when weather changes or crashes mess up the original plan. The first stop usually happens around lap 15 to 20, depending on the track, with the second stop coming after the midpoint when those tyres start falling off. Teams often start on softs for maximum grip, then switch to mediums for the middle stint, and finish on mediums or hards. At Bahrain, teams went from soft to hard, then back to softs or mediums for the final push. It's all about matching the right compound to the right stint length while keeping speed throughout. The biggest challenge is losing time during those two stops. If your crew is slow or you get stuck behind slower cars after pitting, you lose positions fast. Safety cars can help by bunching up the field, but they can also destroy your strategy if they come out at the wrong time. Multi-stop strategy. A multi-stop strategy involves 3 or more pit stops, and it's rare because each stop adds 20 to 25 seconds of lost time. But it can pay off for teams with fast cars that can use fresh tyres to set insane lap times. Teams use multi-stops on tracks like Suzuka, Silverstone and Imola, fast corners and rough surfaces that wear out tyres quickly. It's also an option for teams starting further back who need to take risks. This works best for cars with strong pace, as slower cars can't make up the time lost in extra stops. Teams often cycle between soft and medium tyres to maximise speed. A 3-stop might involve softs, mediums, softs and mediums again. Michael Schumacher's 4-stop strategy in the 2004 French Grand Prix is a classic case. Ferrari pitted him 4 times, using fresh tyres to keep his lap times fast. Despite spending more time in the pits, he overtook rivals and won the race. This worked because they allowed refueling back then. But multi-stops are risky due to time spent in pits. They require perfect execution and a car fast enough to make up the lost time. Safety cars can ruin the plan by closing gaps, and tyre reliability limits how many stops are practical. Multi-stops make races exciting. Fresh tyres mean drivers push hard and make daring overtakes. It's high risk, high reward for teams with confidence in their pace. Fuel management. Fuel management in Formula 1 is critical but often understated. Before 2010, teams could refuel during races, allowing lighter fuel loads and multiple stops to top up. This made fuel strategy essential and adaptable, like Michael Schumacher's 4-stop strategy in 2004. But the FIA banned refueling starting in 2010 to reduce costs, improve safety, and encourage on-track competition over pit lane tactics. Since then, cars must start each race with all the fuel they need, up to a maximum of 110 kilograms. As set by the FIA's Formula 1 technical regulations. This shift has made fuel strategy less prominent in the spotlight but no less important. Teams now focus on optimizing the fuel load at the start and managing consumption during the race, working this strategy alongside tyre choices and pit stops. The FIA caps the starting fuel load at 110 kilograms and fuel flow is restricted to 100 kilograms per hour, monitored by sensors to ensure compliance. Teams calculate the exact amount needed based on race distance, track characteristics, and the car's fuel consumption rate. Teams aim to start with the minimum fuel necessary to finish the race, as extra fuel adds weight, approximately 0.3 seconds per lap for every 10 kilograms. But they include a small buffer, typically 1 to 2 kilograms, to avoid running out due to unexpected variables like safety car periods. As the race progresses, the car consumes fuel, reducing its weight. A lighter car is faster. For example, in a standard 300-kilometer race, a car starting with around 100 kilograms of fuel will lose approximately 98 kilograms by the end, improving lap times in the later stages. Heavier fuel loads at the start put extra pressure on tyres, making them wear out faster. But as fuel burns off, the car becomes easier on its tyres, which can extend their life and influence pit stop timing. The fuel is stored at the rear, so a full tank can cause understeer early in the race. As the race progresses, the car's balance shifts, improving handling and performance throughout the stint. Teams handle this with engine modes like lean or rich settings and driving techniques such as lift and coast. Real-time data analysis helps them stay on track, along with tyre and pit stop plans. It's a subtle, behind-the-scenes effort that can make or break a race if not executed perfectly. With accurate planning and adaptability, fuel management remains a vital piece of the F1 puzzle. Safety car strategies. A safety car comes out when something dangerous happens on the track, a crash, debris, or bad weather. These situations make it unsafe for drivers to race at full speed. It's a real car, usually a modified Mercedes or Aston Martin, that drives onto the track and leads the pack at a slower pace, keeping all the cars bunched up behind it. This slows everyone down, neutralizes the race, and gives marshals time to clear the mess. The field stays tight, so gaps between cars shrink, which shakes up the strategies completely. When the safety car is out, the race is basically on pause. drivers aren't allowed to overtake, and lap times are way slower. This creates a golden opportunity for teams to make strategic moves, especially with pit stops. A pit stop often takes 20 to 25 seconds in total. During this time, other cars fly by at race speed, but under a safety car, everyone's crawling along, so you lose way less time, sometimes just a few seconds when you pit. Since the cars are all close together, the gaps you've worked hard to build or close disappear. This can be a blessing or a curse, depending on your position. If you're behind, it's a chance to catch up. If you're leading, you might lose your advantage. Teams have to make snap decisions when the safety car comes out. The big question is, to pit or not to pit? If a driver's tyres are worn out, pitting for fresh ones is tempting. New tyres can give a huge advantage when the race restarts. But if the tyres are still decent, staying out might keep you ahead, especially if you're in a good position. If you're leading or near the front, you might stay out to hold your spot, since pitting could drop you behind rivals who don't pit. If you're further back, pitting for fresh tyres could help you attack when the race goes green again. If there are only a few laps to go, pitting might not be worth it. You might not have time to use those fresh tyres to gain positions. But if there's still a lot of racing left, fresh tyres could be huge. Teams watch what others do. If the car ahead pits, you might stay out to take their spot, or you might pit to cover their move and keep the fight close. Safety car periods are like a plot twist in an F1 race. They force teams to think fast, adapt their plans, and take risks. A smart move can steal a win. A bad call, like staying out on worn tyres, can cost you the podium. It's all about reading the race, knowing your car, and outguessing your rivals. Weather strategies. Weather can turn an F1 race upside down, so teams have to be incredibly sharp to nail their strategy. A weather strategy is all about how teams handle changes in track conditions, especially when rain shows up or goes away. Rain makes the track slippery, so teams have to decide which tyres to use: dry, intermediate, or wet, and when to switch them. These choices can make or break a race because the right tyres at the right time can shoot you to the front, while a bad call can send you sliding to the back. F1 races are usually planned for dry conditions, but the weather is unpredictable. A sudden shower or drying track forces teams to rethink everything. Dry tyres, called slicks, are incredibly grippy on a dry track, but useless in rain. You'll skid like you're on ice. Wet and intermediate tyres have grooves to clear water, but they're slower on dry pavement. Rain makes corners trickier and reduces visibility, so drivers need tyres that keep them glued to the track. Switching tyres at the perfect moment can save you time or even win the race. Wait too long, and you're stuck on the wrong tyres, losing seconds per lap. When the weather shifts, teams rely on a mix of technology and gut instinct. Before the race, teams check detailed weather reports to predict rain. During the race, they get live updates from meteorologists at the track. Sensors on the car and feedback from drivers tell teams how wet or dry the track is. For example, a driver might radio, "It's getting slippery out here." That's a cue to consider intermediates. Engineers and strategists watch radar and rival moves, deciding whether to pit for new tyres or stay out, balancing risk and reward. Drivers feel the track's grip and can push for a tyre change if they think it's time. Their call is huge in tricky conditions. Weather strategies in F1 are all about reacting to rain or drying tracks with the right tyre choice at the right time. It's high-stakes, fast-thinking strategy that keeps everyone on edge. If you've enjoyed this journey, there's plenty more to come. This sport never stops evolving, and neither will our content. I'd appreciate it if you could subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next time.